You're absolutely right. It is very difficult. These are the men that helped you do what every team strives to do every season. And it's always hard. I shouldn't say always, but most often, the disproportionate amount of time, it's extremely hard to cut any player, no matter the circumstance. But the circumstance you just described makes it particularly difficult.
I don't understand how teams are looking at it right now. We keep reading the stuff this week, and it's like, yeah, it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, though. They're talking about the Eagles and this matchup, and we're still hearing that, yeah, but it's Patrick and Andy. That, how can you pick against them? We heard that all leading up to the Super Bowl, Amy, and it was one of the most prolific beatdowns in the modern era that we've seen. Why do people stick to that narrative when they've already seen what the Eagles are?
I think people generally in life as a whole, not simply in sports, often stick to narratives. But we don't need to go into the whole life narrative situation, of course.
Sure.
Look, Andy is a tremendous, tremendous head coach. Patrick is a tremendous, tremendous quarterback. That doesn't mean there aren't other phenomenal head coaches and phenomenal quarterbacks. And Philadelphia got the job done and earned that Super Bowl win. And by the way, my hunch is everything you just described, they used within that locker room as motivation. A lot of people listening aren't old enough to remember the Brady Bunch or the Brady Bunch when they said, Marsha, 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 because all they were doing was talking about Marsha Brady. Well, I'm sure that the Eagles got sick of the equivalent of Marsha, 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 which was Andy, 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 Patrick, 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 and I'm sure they used that for motivation.
Amy Trask from CBS Sports joins us here on Kincade and Salciunas.
By the way, excuse me for interrupting, but I would like to know that I'm going to go down in history as the only guest you've had on who has quoted the Brady Bunch when talking about the Super Bowl.
I think that will be it. Yeah, I think that's safe.
Yeah, I don't think Schefter has not done that.
Yeah, he is not.
Yeah, Kevin DeGandhi doesn't do that.
And if anybody does it now, it's unoriginal.
Yeah, then they'd be copying
you. You were the first one to do it.
That's right.
Amy, so I'm sorry to keep on bringing up Howie Roseman, but he's so good at what he's doing right now. He's on such a heater. Howie Roseman did something that I think a lot of people sometimes miss. He went ahead of the curve. Defenses have gotten smaller and faster, so he said, okay, let's get a ground game going. Talk about how difficult that might be, trying to either do something different or a lot of teams go, wait, we have to throw to win, so we're going to build offenses that way. When it comes to building a roster, would you rather try to go with what everybody else is doing or try to be the person that says, let me try to combat with that with something else?
Well, I'm going to answer that in three ways. First and foremost, you're absolutely right about Howie. He does a tremendous job. But I'm also going to credit Jeff Lurie, because when you are the owner, you have ultimate responsibility and ultimate authority, and you can certainly delegate that responsibility and delegate that authority, and he has done so. He picked someone magnificent to whom to give that authority and responsibility. But at the end of the day, the owner is the owner, so credit to Jeff Lurie as well. Number two, you are talking to the girl who has always and forever been an advocate and a proponent of the run game. Last year when I heard people saying, a rejuvenation of the run game, my brain almost exploded because I have never given up on the running game. Look, football is 11 on 11. That's math, and that's math that even I can do, and I suck at doing math. But if you've got a solid, good, and in the case of the Eagles, tremendous running game, well, guess what? It's going to take defenders on the other team to slow that down, and by definition, that's going to make your quarterback's job easier, your receiver's job's easier, because if you've got to put attention on a running game, which Eagle opponents did, you're freeing up other people. So I love what he did. That you were able to, and I'm saying you because you're Philadelphians, go out and get the back of the quality you did from a divisional opponent is, well, I'll use my mom's word, wowie.
Yeah. I can tell you that one of the things that we talked about all offseason was the fact that Nick Sirianni said, okay, last year, we've turned the page, we're not talking about last year. He claimed that he didn't even know it was banner night against the Dallas Cowboys, and we knew that was BS. What do you think about that?
Okay, yeah, I don't buy that.
Yeah, and what do you think
that.
about that idea, though, Amy, that not acknowledging last year? I sort of love the swagger, and watching the Chiefs documentary, they seemed to really embrace being the bullies on the block, being the defending champions, being the ones that everybody has a target on their back, whereas the Eagles are sort of saying, well, that was last year, we're not even talking about it. How do you feel about that?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I don't buy that he didn't know it was banner night. Right. Everyone in the organization knew it was banner night. And I'm saying that in good fun and good spirit. He's a tremendous, tremendous coach. I do not intend that as any sort of a slight. Of course, he knew it was banner night. I do like the idea of saying, you know what? We won it all last year, but the slate is clean this year, and we are starting over, because that's the way the NFL is designed. The league is designed on the concept of parity, that in any given season, every fan of every team believes their team can win. So now he's looking at it that way and saying, great, we won it all last year. That was last year. Now we've got to focus on winning again this year. I think that's smart.
Amy, listen, we appreciate the time as always. It's already been 1 week in the NFL season. We're excited for it. We'll be bugging you down the road even more, because we always love having you on.
She gets up early in California. When she sends pictures of her beach view, it gets me a little
But here's
annoyed.
the deal. Even though you're in California, you do have Philadelphia in your heart, because this is a town that never wanted to go away from the ground game either.
No.
Well, I love that. I love joining you. Call me anytime you need that person at 5 a.m., and you can boo me whenever you want.
Sorry I missed your last trip, but next time, I promise.
Ice cream on me.
Hey, there you go.
You're
Thanks,
the best. Thank you,
See ya.
Amy.
Thank you so much for checking out our content here on our YouTube channel. You know you can like and subscribe, and that way you're never going to miss anything that we've got going on right here at 97.5 The Fanatic.